Heartland Tech Weekly: How to Tell Better Stories About Middle America in 2018. If you're like me, stories dissecting the highlights of 2017 and predicting top trends for 2018 have started taking over your news feed. I know some readers and writers find them too formulaic. Why does everything have to be a top 10 list? But I find that taking stock of what we talked about in 2017 is helpful to understand what we didn't talk about, and should talk about, in 2018. The guiding question I'm focused on as I prepare for 2018 is, how can we better understand Heartland Tech startups in 2018? By we I don't just mean VentureBeat. Who are the stakeholders that can really improve the conditions of tech communities in Middle America? And how can we help them have conversations that are more finely tuned to the challenges and opportunities entrepreneurs in these places face every day? We'll continue to look for answers leading up to our Blueprint event on March 5th to 7th in Reno, Nevada. At Blueprint, you'll have a chance to hear from executives of prominent tech companies and economic development leaders about how to plug into up-and-coming tech hubs across the country. But we're not waiting until January to start talking about what we can do better in 2018. One of our frequent guest writers, Dustin Kyson, wrote about 3 ways local government can make their city or state more startup-friendly in 2018. He talked to entrepreneurs about what startup-friendly actually means, and Monica Lawfer with the startup research firm Engine discussed 5 lessons every U.S. startup community should take from 2017 into 2018. How can we do a better job of telling tech stories in the Heartland in 2018? Please send news tips or feedback to me via email, and please remember to share these #Heartland Tech stories on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Thanks for reading. Anna Hensel, Heartland Tech reporter. Please enjoy this video from CNBC. Where does Main Street stand on key issues? Guest: while there are a number of Midwestern cities that are home to promising healthcare startups, including Minneapolis and Chicago, Ohio is quickly positioning itself as a major player. The state has seen an influx of funding to healthcare and life sciences startups, and it produced one of the biggest Midwest startup exits of. Read the full story. International startup accelerator Techstars announced today that it is launching a new agtech accelerator in Minneapolis-St. Paul, Minnesota. Called the Farm to Fork Accelerator, the program will be managed by Brett Brawl, previously an entrepreneur and resident at Techstars Retail Accelerator, also based in Minnesota. Cargill and Ecolab, some of the largest players in the agtech. Read the full story above. Ship's headquarters in Birmingham, Alabama analysis, targets $550 million all-cash acquisition of online grocery delivery service Shipt on Wednesday may not seem large by Silicon Valley standards. But when you consider that it's taken startups in Ship's home state of Alabama 5 years to raise that same amount of money, you can see why Ship's acquisition might be cause for celebration among. Read the full story. Guest: contrary to popular belief, government bureaucrats aren't trying to thwart entrepreneurs at every turn. In my experience, the opposite has been true. The state and local government officials I meet with in my role as a vice president for an economic development organization in St. Charles, Missouri, increasingly see startups as important to the future. Read the full story. 593 miles away from Pittsburgh Technology Council's Southside office, 16 of the city's entrepreneurs chatted with investors at a 2-day New England Venture Summit in Boston. Via Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Read the full story. Scott Jones works with Tap Solutions, a startup located in Atlanta's Tech Village that works with insurance companies to mobilize information. It makes it harder for new businesses and new concepts to emerge, he said. I'm afraid that the internet is going to change a lot less in the next 10 years than it has in the last 10 years. Via Web. Read the full story. Taylor Bussey, 17, lives in Paintsville, Kentucky, the heart of coal country. She loves to do art, but design wasn't something she'd ever envisioned as a career. That is, until she became a member of the Appalachian Graphic Design Fellowship program through her high school. The program, spearheaded by design luminary and head of computational design and inclusion at Automatic, John Maeda, aims to expose high school students in Kentucky to design as a career path while showing them the possibilities of remote work. Via Fast Company Design. Read the full story. The year is coming to a close, which means it is time to look back at some of the biggest Minnesota tech and startup stories from 2017. This year's list includes a record number of co-working companies opening in the Twin Cities and Minnesota's largest venture capital raise to date. Via Minnesota